The State Department here in the U.S. says it remains 100% committed to NATO, even though Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is skipping next month's NATO meeting in Brussels for a visit to Mar-a-Lago in Florida by China's president. Later in the month, Tillerson will head to Moscow, an itinerary that has some wondering whether the U.S. is placing a reset with Russia ahead of our allies. Chief Washington correspondent James Rosen examined the state of U.S.-European relations with the woman who speaks for the EU on all foreign policy matters.
Despite strains between the U.S. and its traditional transatlantic partners, including a decision by Secretary of State Rex Tillerson to skip a NATO ministerial session ahead of a planned sit-down with the Russians, Federica Mogherini, the European Union's foreign policy chief, told Fox News she gets along with the Trump administration just fine.
My working relationship with the Secretary of State Tillerson, Secretary of Defense Mattis, with Vice President Pence, with congressmen on the Hill has been great. We have military to military, we have counter-terrorist experts, we have Europol that is doing the police side of it. We have also some intelligence sharing, all levels.
So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Shortly after Inauguration Day, EU President Donald Tusk designated his new American counterpart a risk for the EU's 28 member states, citing Mr. Trump's statements about NATO being obsolete and his support for the British departure from the EU, known as Brexit. Mogherini said Tusk was just referencing the uncertainties surrounding the transition.
Now, the European Union will never see America or an American president as a risk.
Asked if she thinks President Trump's executive orders on immigration are helping Islamist groups recruit, Mogherini declined to comment, citing pending legal action here in the States. But she did raise concerns about Western societies succumbing to Islamophobia.
And that can lead to some political decisions in America and in Europe that can give some ground to the radicalization discourse in our society.
As she helps preside over Brexit, a messy divorce whose terms will take at least 2 years to negotiate, Mogherini urged the White House to recognize the limits of an America First policy.
I could say Europe first. The point is, does America First mean America alone, or does it mean to serve America first and better, we need to work with our partners and allies?
Foreign policy analysts said Mogherini's greatest challenge here will be determining whether the U.S. officials she finds so agreeable are actually speaking for the president they serve.
There's a lot of uncertainty in that regard, certainly in Washington and even more so around the world, in places like Europe and in Asia. And I think one of the things the Trump administration needs to do, has been trying to do in some of these early meetings, is assuage those concerns.
And late today, the White House announced that President Trump will welcome the NATO Secretary General to the White House on April 12th, Brett, a meeting that follows 2 phone calls that they have had since January 20.
Okay, James, thank you.